What's up, strikers? Are you feeling a bit confused about all these different terms that keep getting thrown around in game? Don't worry, we've got your back. In this video, we are going to explain what all of these terms mean, from the more simple ones to the ones that the game assumes you should just know. Okay, we know the overwhelming majority of you are going to know some of these really common terms. Terms like takedown, KO, buff, and debuff. They're used very often in numerous other games, and this game is no different for these terms. Now that those are out of the way, let's get into the terms that are a bit less clear. A hit is any ability or effect that damages or knocks back enemies. Even abilities that work on your teammates, like Era's primary, count as hits. Next up, let's talk about dash and blink. Dash abilities cause you to dash in a direction, like Juliet's Flying Phoenix, while blink abilities teleport you to a predetermined location, like Estelle's Rose Warp. The key difference between the two is when you dash, you keep moving until you hit an enemy, a wall, or reach max distance, whereas blink takes you straight to your chosen location. Haste is any ability that increases your speed, like Kai's Blazing Pace. A projectile is an ability that launches a ranged object, like Dubu's Bamboozle, or Rollout if you prefer. Don't get this confused with abilities that act as essentially a laser. A perfect example of this is Estelle's primary. She does not technically fire a projectile as there is no travel time. There is a casting animation, and once the ability is cast, it hits anyone or anything that is caught in its path. That means Estelle's primary does not benefit from the Missile Propulsion Awakening, while her ult will because she launches multiple projectiles that have a travel time. A creation is an ability that persists for a short duration, like Asher's Path Splitter or Dubu's Tofu Fortress. You're creating these things. It's kind of in the name. Power determines how much damage and knockback you apply when you land hits. Speed is your move speed. Keep in mind that there are diminishing returns on move speed, so you can't just stack it endlessly and sonic around the map. Stagger is your health bar. When it reaches 0, you become staggered, which causes you to take significantly increased knockback. You rapidly heal during this time, but any damage delays this effect. Once you refill half of your stagger meter, you are no longer in the staggered state. Size is your hitbox. So the bigger it is, the harder and farther you can hit the core and enemies with your melee abilities. Banished is an exclusive effect to Rune, so far. When he hits either strikers or the core with his ult, they become untargetable and immune to other effects during the duration. Affected strikers also can't use abilities during this time. Elusive makes you become untargetable and immune to effects and abilities, but you maintain any buffs and debuffs during this time. Juno becomes elusive during her jump, and you can become elusive too by using one of your energy bars. Immune makes you untargetable and immune to effects and abilities other than buffs. This only occurs briefly after you respawn from being KO'd, as indicated by the purple shield over your head when you respawn. The goal arc is the glowing area in front of each goal. Any strikers standing inside their team's goal arc receive a passive buff that grants increased resistance to knockbacks and impairing effects. Goal gates are the walls preventing your goal from opening. Keep these from being hit by the core to make your life easier as the goalie, while your team should be trying to shoot the core into the enemy team's goal gates. Yep, that is indeed the video game. An assist for scoring is determined if you made contact with the core within 3 seconds of an ally scoring. Your assist total is indicated in the goal column of the stats page after the plus sign. Gear is the 4 different options given to you after you've selected your striker before starting the match. There is forward gear and goalie gear. Each role has their own unique set of gear. Awakenings are powerful effects that augment your striker's stats or abilities during the match. You get your choice between 2 at the start of the match, and then you get to draft awakenings in between each set. Next, let's talk about Spark. You might have seen it mentioned in the awakenings that start with Spark, but what does it actually do? Well, for every awakening that starts with Spark, you gain 1 Spark. So when Spark of Agility says gain 2% speed plus 8% per Spark you have, what it means is that if you take 3 of the Spark Awakenings, you'll get the 2% speed boost plus an extra 24% from the Awakenings for a total of 26%, along with 3 times the other 2 Awakenings that you chose. It's really good for snowballing since the effects stack, and this allows you to get some great stat bonuses that may be better than if you had opted for non-Spark Awakenings. Try not to split it up between your team if you can help it though, since there are not a lot of them. Orbs are neutral objectives that spawn around the arena at predetermined intervals. If you get an orb, it restores a bit of your stagger bar, earns a bit of XP, and fills a portion of your energy meter. Experience is earned passively, but you can also earn it by striking the core, dealing damage, making saves, collecting orbs, earning takedowns, scoring a goal, or getting an assist. The draft order for Awakenings is determined based on who has the most experience. MVP of the set picks first, then whoever has the most experience from the 5 remaining players is second pick, and it descends down to the player with the least experience picking last. Last, but not least, your energy meter is the yellow bar below your stagger bar. It fills up the same way you get XP. If you cast the ability with less than a full meter, you will use 1 bar to cast Evade, becoming briefly immune to damage and knockbacks. If you cast it at 100%, it becomes Energy Burst. This causes you to become elusive, knock back nearby enemies, and you flip the core into the air, gaining complete control over the core for a short time. Your next strike on the core will send the core flying at a very high speed. That about wraps it up. Hopefully this video was informative and helped everyone watching gain a better understanding of all of the in-game terminology. If so, please leave us a like, comment what we helped you learn, let us know if there was something that we missed, and subscribe if you want to see more Omega Strikers content similar to this video. See you all in the next video!